So, on this week's episode of Married to Medicine, let's just get right into it. Scott and Contessa. Now, if I were to be honest, at the beginning of the season, I don't know, I wasn't really feeling Contessa too much when she spoke about her marital issues with Scott. I thought that, she was just kind of not making up drama, but she was making things more than what they were just to have a moment on television. But by the end of the season, we start to see that there are actually real issues here, and I do feel bad for ever doubting her. So, at the beginning of the episode, they all sit down, right? The other ladies, I believe it was Heavenly, before they even started to eat, confront Scott about their marital issues, right? And he immediately shuts that down. He's like, we're fine, we don't have any issues, we're stronger than ever, this is just a bump in the road. Later on, we learned that Scott may be cheating. So, and not just cheating, potentially serial cheating. So if you serially cheating is a bump in the road in your relationship, I can't imagine what other things Contessa potentially has been through with this. So he gets up, he doesn't want to hear it, he doesn't want anybody in their business, and which I can understand. You don't want a group of people that, let's be real, some of them don't really care about you like that. And on top of that, you are on national television. You don't want a bunch of people in your business. But Scott is wrong, right? So he gets up and he is getting Contessa to get up to leave with him. And Contessa's just sitting there. She's quiet. And we know that Contessa is very talkative. She speaks her mind, but in this moment, she says nothing. So you know that this is serious. I feel like she's stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? She wants to deal with the issues, right? She wants to heal. But at the same time, she doesn't want to embarrass or disrespect her husband. If he's not here for it, she doesn't want to put all their business out there like that. So I guess she just shuts down and gives up, because what can she do? So they go back to their room, right? The next day, we learn through Carrie that Scott and Contessa were arguing, and Contessa said, why do you have all these images of naked women on your phone? Before I get into that, I'll just say this. I find it very odd that Carrie would take a private argument and bring it on camera. If I was Contessa, I would feel some kind of way, And then as Carrie is telling her about this argument, they later go and knock on Contessa's door to try to, console her and see what's going on. But it all just comes off as disingenuous, because Carrie doesn't really have that relationship like that with the other ladies, right? And if this was someone you really cared about, you wouldn't be gossiping about what's going on in their marriage on national television. So that was kind of shady to me, right? I really do feel for Contessa, because it seems like Scott is not interested in changing. He keeps saying everything is fine. We don't need counseling. We can figure it out. This is nothing. This is a bump in the road. And it's quite unfortunate because, listen, right? Nobody is perfect. And I understand that, cheating is not necessarily going to end a relationship, right? Especially if you're married, especially if you have children. I do believe that you can work past that. But if the other person doesn't want to change their behavior, there's only so much you can do at a certain point. He's kind of putting Contessa in this position of listen, you either accept this or you accept this, because it doesn't seem like Contessa wants to get a divorce. It seems like she wants to stay together for the sake of the children. And, you know, which is, I can get where she's coming from, because if you look at her upbringing, especially her relationship with her father, I can understand that she wants to keep that family unit together. She doesn't want to repeat the same things that happened to her. But at the end of the day, if Scott isn't willing to step up in that relationship in the long term, she is kind of doing more damage to her children, because you're modeling an unhealthy behavior, right? You want to show your children that if you're in a relationship with somebody and they disrespect you, right? They don't treat you right, that you don't stay, that you leave. And yes, at the beginning, it may be extremely hard, but it's absolutely worth it for your peace, right? Because there's no point. What are you going to do? Be miserable for the rest of your marriage because someone doesn't care enough about you to change their destructive behavior? So at the end of the day, I mean, my heart goes out to Contessa, but if Scott's not really willing to deal with the issues that he has and that they both have, what can you do about it? You know, even Scott, I remember that episode where he was meeting with the other husbands, and he takes out his phone and shows the guy this woman that he wanted to hire, but he didn't want to hire her because she was too attractive. First off, you feel comfortable enough to show this woman's image on national television, bragging, not bragging, but going on about how she's so hot. And I'm actually surprised at Bravo that they didn't blur this lady's image. And it's quite unfair to the lady as well, because she's not trying to have a relationship with Scott. She's looking for a job. And the fact that you're going to deny her an opportunity because you can't control yourself around her, or you can't have that respect, is completely unfair. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know what's going on with Scott. I don't know if he's necessarily having a sexual relationship with other women, or he's just flirting, or he's talking, or he's looking at images. Whatever it is, boundaries are being crossed, and the children notice it. Even the children are saying, "Daddy has a girlfriend," and I don't think they're just making that up. Why would they just say that out of nowhere? It's because, well, it may be true. So at the end of the day, I mean, I hope that she figures it out. We'll see. You know, and in the reunion, allegedly, maybe, perhaps, she files for a divorce. So we're going to see how that unfolds. So the next major thing that happened this episode was Lisa Nicole versus Anila. So Anila racks up this $600 bill, and she spent that on alcohol, right? And she charges that to Lisa Nicole's room, I believe, right? Because I guess Lisa Nicole booked the trip. And she did that as revenge because Lisa Nicole didn't pay her for the image or the story that she posted on Instagram. Now, that initial scene where Anila goes to Lisa Nicole's boutique or whatever, she talks about the prices, right? And to me, it just seemed like, you know, Lisa Nicole was just nodding her head, but I don't think she was taking her too seriously. I think she was just going along with it because they're on camera. Because if you look at it, I mean, why would Lisa Nicole really need Anila to post, you know, an image of Lisa Nicole's clothes when they're on Bravo right now, you know? this is national television. She's being promoted. Her boutique is being promoted on national television. So, I mean, I get why Anila would feel away, but at the end of the day, I don't really think it's that serious. And if you really did have an issue with her, you should have found a more fun and creative way to do so. Because for you to spend $600 on alcohol, that tells me you don't really need the money like that. Not enough to do something like that, right? So, I mean, that's it. Nothing else really happened this episode. The season was okay. It was so-so. It picked up near the end, and I'm looking forward to the reunion. So, bye, everybody.